And now for some breaking news. I'm Harry Hand-Me-Down. A portal to hell has apparently opened up and demons have begun escaping. All citizens are urged to take immediate shelter in the following areas. I am now going live to... Arnie Pie, seriously? Damn, they couldn't have taken out the news chopper first, huh? Going live to Arnie. Arnie, what the hell is going on down there? Well, it appears as if hell has finally opened up on this godforsaken planet. Oh, jeez, I'm making friends with demons. They're actually giving me skulls. Oh, God, no! Arnie! Oh, damn. I'd like to announce that I finally got my favorite parking spot back. It was Arnie's, now it's mine. Anyway, stay with us as more information is breaking out. And wow. Demons apparently are starting to climb the windows here at the news studio. We will stay with you as long as we possibly... Yeah, I get tired of that same program all the time. Let's see what else is on. Jerry Springer. Cat Files. Dog juggling. Oh, dogs juggling. No. Ooh, this should be good. Let's see. Turn up the volume. It's time for the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast, coming up right here on this channel. Ah, good. I like this show. This show's good. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast for Saturday, September 14th, 2019. We're 2 Saturdays now into the month, and this week has been a dumpster fire. Join me this week as my laptop decides it wants to do another frickin' update that's now currently downloading at 81% and driving me insane. Frickin' security updates my ass. Anyway... my topics for this week to talk about, sadly, the passing of Robert Axelrod, the voice of Lord Zedd, has sadly passed away at the age of 70. This is really sad news to find out here. There's a new dating sim. It's either coming out or is out. I don't know which yet, but apparently you can now put the moves on the Chicken Man himself, Colonel Sanders. Oh, goody. The world's biggest video game store, video game retailer, Gamestop, is dun closing hundreds of stores. Who'd have thought? Yes, that's right. I'm going to be talking about that. I'm sorry. I think I called that one, I think. Sword Art Online Alicization anime has set its date to continue the saga. Does it have to? And a topic courtesy of my mom, who brought this one to my attention. People are asking for a reality TV show where flat earthers look for Earth's edge. Oh, I have some thoughts on this. And so much more this week on the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. But you know the song and dance by now, I'm sure you do. Feel free to check out my eBay page, ARHOADS-2012, for all your weird oddities, collectibles, what have you. Come on, check it out. There's no links or perks or anything else. Just swing by, say hi, check out what I got. Something might tickle your fancy, I don't know. It probably doesn't, but look, I don't have sponsors, and this is basically something that I do, so I'm basically sponsoring myself. If that makes any sense. So, yeah, probably not. But anyway, feel free to check that out. Don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter at OtakuRhodes, and check out the official Web Designer 18 Facebook page. You can leave questions there for future Q&A videos if you want to, though I prefer them being in the comments section. But you never know! I might lose commentability. YouTube's policy takes effect in a few months. I might lose comments because my account will be considered a child's account. Yay, go figure. And don't forget, you can also put topics there if you want something you want me to check out. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff you can do. Just feel free, check it out, swing by, say hi. I'm usually on Twitter a lot, so come by, say hi, tweet at me, what have you, have some fun. But, yeah, that's about all I got for this opening segment, huh? Oh, well, let's get into how my week was and then dive into the podcast, shall we? Okay, so I think it's safe to say the following phrase here. My week was a shit show. A grade A, 100% positively could not take another day of its shit show. And how was it this bad, you ask? Well, it's just everything in general, I guess you could say. magnitude of stuff not working out right, bills that decided to come, unexpected expenses, which I now have a new one of. Just a whole lot of general stuff that just is not welcome anymore in my life. So let's see. What exactly will happen this week? There's a lot of stress going on at work. That's always fun. My supervisor's, under a lot of pressure, and basically my entire week can be summed up into one old good expression: shit rolls downhill. That explains my week in a nutshell. Between electronics not wanting to work right, possibly almost screwing myself over multiple times, very little on YouTube to actually occupy my attention, the fact that I feel like I'm bored out of my mind, just a lot of stuff. I finally got my grandfather into something that keeps him quiet in the afternoon. We've been watching some Penn and Teller Fool Us, so that's a lot of fun. I like magic tricks. My mom's one classmate told her to keep me the hell away from magic, at least performing or trying magic, because I could see through all of his tricks, and I was like 5 or 6, so that did not sit well with him. It's kind of bad when a 5 or 6 year old, at least I think I was like 5 or 6 anyway, it's bad when someone that young is able to see your tricks and they're knowing how you're doing it. He didn't like that, so he told my mom, keep him away from magic. No, just keep him away from it, trust me, it's a bad idea. So there was that, but we've been watching some of that. I pulled up, because YouTube had some old episodes of Magic's Biggest Secrets Finally Revealed. I grew up watching that show. I thought that was really cool, so it was a lot of fun. Let's see. Nothing really happened on Tuesday except for annoyances. Grandfather's car has a muffler issue, which has to get taken care of, which we're working on. Let's see. Thursday was sort of uneventful. Friday was... I'd rather... The less said about Friday, the better. No, you don't have to screw it. Yesterday was basically the day where anything that could possibly want to go wrong just kept going wrong for me, with having to deal with everybody on the roadway. There's a rule when you drive. 1 car length per 10 miles of speed. That's what you're supposed to stay, so that you can stop safely, so that in case somebody has to slam on their brakes because of an emergency, you're not going to rear end them, just so that you're not speeding or anything. But everybody yesterday decided, let's see what happens when we ride Andrew like a donkey in heat. Let's see what happens when we're right up on his ass as he's driving. See what happens. And it just annoyed the living crap out of me. In fact, one person actually went past me because I wasn't going fast enough for them, and I was literally going the speed limit. Right at the speed limit, and they blew past me, so I was a little pissed off at that. Just had a lot of stress this week, and all of it culminated now into my latest expense that I now have to get. I screwed up my mom's car. We got another flat tire. So this was on the driver's side again, like the last one. And it's funny that the last one I got flat, I think was like last year, come to think of it. Because it was right around the anniversary of the podcast when I got it, because I made a joke, a funny thing happened on my way to the podcast. I got a flat tire. This time around, though, it's a freaking week later. But yeah, I ended up getting a flat tire, and I felt something weird when we pulled out. Now, we have stone in our front yard. So I just thought maybe it was a little bit of loose stone because we had some rain. I thought maybe might have had some loose stone that, kind of like dried a bit and wasn't like sunken down enough. It was just a little loose. That happens. We've had that. Driving, and we took the scenic route to go to the convenience store. We're driving the whole way. It's like a good 13-mile drive here. And we're taking this whole drive, and I'm like, okay, car feels fine. Not really out of whack or anything. We take the one road, and all of a sudden, I'm kind of noticing how the driver's side is just kind of sloping, and I'm in the middle of the road. I'm like, there might be a dip in the road. Like, as I'm getting to the second stop sign, I'm like, yeah, there's never this big of a dip in the road. Pull into the convenience store, and tire's flat. Now, my mom could vouch for this. It's about at this point that common decency is now out the window with me. I am now flat out swearing up a storm. I am cussing like a sailor. I'm dropping F-bombs left and right. I'm pissed off. I'm miserable. Fact be, I didn't even get a drink tonight. My mom actually wanted me to get one. She goes, I pulled out the money for you to get one. I refused because this is my punishment to myself because I didn't look at the tires before we left. I took the scenic route. I didn't take better care of the car. This is my punishment. My wallet's going to be feeling more of the punishment than later when I have to buy a new tire, because I guarantee you I ruined this tire. So that was, the lug nuts were warm. Like, they were a bit on the hot side. So, yeah, I screwed up this car. I screwed up that tire. So it's a guarantee. This one's my fault. I'm paying for this one. And my punishment was I just don't get my nightly drink. It's not my mom's fault. She didn't invoke the punishment. It was my own doing. I'm 30 years old. She's not going to up and tell me, no, you're not going to get something to drink. I'm 30 years old. I'm well over the threshold of you're now an adult. I'm well over that by a good 12 years. It's just that I don't trust the donut tire. I never trusted those things. I've had now, counting this one, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like the 6th flat tire that I've ever had since I've been driving. I have never trusted those damn donut tires. I hate them with a passion. I hate them more than you could ever imagine. I can't stand them. The aesthetic of them, the look of them, everything. I hate it with a passion. So, of course, now I'm a little pissed off. I'm terrified now that the tire's flat, that the spare tire's a little on the flat side. I'm more pissed at myself for not looking down at the tire. I always look at the damn tire. Every single time I look down at the damn tire. But I'm just so fixated because I'm trying to find ways to, help the budget and everything right now because money's getting a little tighter and night shift's getting ready to start soon and I'm just stressing out about a lot of stuff. And I'm taking it out on the people around me and I apologize for that. They know I mean no harm. I'm just getting stressed out. I'm, getting to the point where I'm reaching my breaking point again. And we're getting into, we're soon going to be doing night shift, and then the night shift screws my sleeping pattern. I'm already having that screwed with as it is. So yeah, I'm not exactly in the world's happiest of moods. So of course, it's understandable I'm flipping out. But then the fact that the tire just breaks. It goes flat. I always check it. I'm kicking myself because I didn't check it. It's the first thing I check. I always look at the tires. I would have seen that and went, oh shit, the tire's low. Crap. All right, well we gotta take the other car then. Just go straight down and back. I'm just kicking myself because I didn't think to look. So that's why it's my fault, basically. So I broke the car. So that's a fun thing to start off my weekend with. Garage isn't open till Monday. I can't get the tire replaced until then. I'm going to have to drive down and get a tire for it or call the guy up and see if he can get a tire in, which means I probably won't get it for Monday because he's usually busy on a damn Monday. So I'm really screwed. Yeah, this has just been a wonderful week for me. I'm not even going to lie. This has been a wonderful week. Just wonderful in the form of a dumpster fire. This has been a horrible week. I'm not even going to lie. Between technical issues that I've been dealing with, I finally, the only good thing that happened this week, I finally have a pattern down to get my videos fixed up, so that makes me happy. But otherwise, this week has sucked. I've gone on too damn long with this, but I don't have that many topics this week to talk about. But still, this has been a dumpster fire week. Flat out dumpster fire. But let me know how your weeks went. Your weeks had to have been better than mine was. I get like a couple cool things in my one game, and all hell breaks loose with the car. Yin and yang, people. Yin and yang. I am a firm believer in that. For every good thing, something bad has to balance out the equation. Huge believer in that. But let me know how your weeks went in the comment section, and let's just dive into this one, shall we? Let's dive into this. Alright, so let's talk about this first, so I can get the sad part out of the way here. So for many fans of Power Rangers and some anime and a few other things, the name Robert Axelrod probably doesn't mean much to you. Unfortunately, I did talk about this a couple weeks back, or at least I think it's like a year ago at best. I talked about it. There was a GoFundMe page that was started. I saw it put up on Jason David Frank's Facebook page, and I talked about it here on the podcast because I always liked Lord Zedd. Lord Zedd was one of my favorite villains. Actually, he is my favorite villain from all Power Rangers. Because he was just maniacal. He was all powerful. He was just 100%. That's what a villain should be. The way he was. He wasn't like a goofy type of villain. He wasn't a serious strategic type of villain. He was a flat out, I'm going to show you how this is done. I'll get my hands dirty, really, go to town on you type of villain. So it's sad, though, unfortunately, to hear about Lord Zedd's passing. Robert Axelrod, who voiced him and lent his voice to the crackling Demonius, or he basically lent his voice to Lord Zedd, along with many other characters in Western cartoons. And that he also voiced Finster. I did not know. I mean, I kind of remembered it, but Finster was never really one of my favorite characters, so I didn't care. He passed away at like the age of 70. His agent announced it. This was like back on the 7th, but I only found out about it last week, so it's technically counting. I only found out about Sunday morning, so it's counting for this week, basically. So he passed away, sadly. His early career in acting included the Blob, but his true strength was voice acting. Everything from Robotech to one of the most notable animated roles in Digimon's Wizardmon, which I did not know. I did not know that was him. So that really shows you. Because, I mean, there are a lot of voice actors out there that they'll do a role, and you'll instantly know who that voice belongs to. Brad Garrett did the voice of Trypticon in Transformers Generation, in the G1 Transformers, and he was the voice of the big dog in Two Stupid Dogs. His voice is one that you can instantly hear. Peter Cullen would be one you could instantly hear, Optimus Prime. Lord Zedd, I know what Lord Zedd sounds like. I just never knew that it was Wizardmon that was the same voice actor. But fans, though, are more likely, like I said, to remember Axelrod for his role as one of the Power Rangers' most sinister villains, Lord Zedd. For those of you that remember, he was introduced in the second season. He became an overnight sensation. Yeah. His arrival, he basically threw Rita Repulsa out on her ass, said, I'm taking over this, get the hell out, shoved her back into a dumpster, gave Goldar back his wings, took over the Palace of Evil on the moon, and basically was like, nope, you know what? It's my show now, baby. Get out. He started having his own way of making monsters. He had his kick-ass staff with the Z, which I know a lot of people will instantly point to the infamous duct tape scene. Yeah, screw it. I don't really care. So, yeah. And it was only like one episode. But there's that. A lot of people said that Lord Zedd kind of like mellowed out when him and Rita got married. I don't think that happened, but he was always that villain to me. It's the massive villain that Lord Zedd was, and that's why I will always remember Axelrod for Lord Zedd's voice. Basically, unfortunately, his passing is just really sad, though. It just really is. But the article here that I have is from Gizmodo, which there's a link, by the way. You can also pull up, because I did share this. I'm pretty sure I did it on... I know I did it on Twitter. I don't know if I did it on Facebook. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'd have to double check. But you can check out Lord Zedd's first arrival. As I remember putting down on Twitter that this is... Honestly, this is the one scene that a lot of people are going to remember him for, and honestly, so will I. Because it's Lord Zedd's first moment, and the status quo changed. It is one of the most iconic moments in Power Rangers history. It's the one that sold and made him the powerful and fearsome, villain to kids watching. And this is the same villain that because Axelrod voiced the villain that scared the crap out of parents. He was an original villain for Power Rangers. He wasn't one that came from the Super Sentai series, because the second season was based off of Die Ranger, and Die Ranger's main villains were jokes, literal jokes. If you've ever seen Die Ranger, it's not bad, but for what it is, you have to take it with a grain of salt. It's good, but story-wise, it's got some issues. But Lord Zedd was just this massive villain, and it's honestly just sad that Axelrod has passed on, that his voice is now gone. But he actually had already lent, like I said, to other voice acting talents on the show before the role of Zedd. He was voicing Finster, Rita's little butt-kissing yes man that made all the monsters. But it was Zedd that made him forever part of Power Rangers' legacy and lore. It's still influencing aspects of the series. It's even explored, or being exploited by today. It's massively impressive how he did it. His role is just amazing. It just like, if you've ever seen Lord Zedd, you know what I mean. It was just like this massive. When he spoke, you were quiet. This wasn't a type of I'm gonna make a sinister joke here and you're gonna laugh. But it's like you'll get a chuckle, but then you'll immediately go back to what's his next idea gonna be. He was not a villain to be messed with. It's like the more you pissed him off, the madder he got. So I mean, that was my. I always liked Lord Zedd, and Axelrod did a good job for the voice. So his passing though is a massive blow. If anything, I did not know though that he voiced, like I said, Wizardmon. I kind of heard when I started rewatching like old review episodes of stuff for Power Rangers that he did do the voice of Finster, but never really dawned on me. And then there was Armadillomon, apparently, which I did not know. Of course, according to one thing that I read, he did the voice of Armadillomon. So still, it is very sad that he has passed away. I'm I can go back out here to Google. Good old Google. See here. Passed away age 70. Okay. Yeah. He was born May 29th, 1949. And, I mean, he was just really good. So you pull up the Wikipedia page here. You can easily find all this, by the way, by Google searching his name. It's not that difficult. Robert Axelrod. I'm going to pull up some movies and TVs, provided that it wants to do it quickly. This stupid download is still going on. 85% for this stupid security. I hate updates. Let's see here. Okay, now it's loading. Right. But yeah, like I said, this is just sad. My heart does go out to the family and friends, to the people that knew him. I actually saw this on Twitter, like I said, last Sunday, because Linkara had something up on his Twitter page because he actually got to meet the guy, and I'm just like, the name clicked almost instantaneously with me because like I said, I had talked about it, and I think it was about a year ago I talked about it on the podcast of his God, what was that GoFundMe page, like I said. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see. Pull up his filmography here. Okay, so he was in some anime. He was in Codename Robotech as Rico. He was in Wowzer as a Ratso Katso. I've never heard of that. Digimon Adventure as Wizardmon and Vadamon. Digimon Adventure 2, Armadillomon and Kilomon, Wizardmon, and Sukakomon, which he shared with Dave Mallow, because Angemon was also part of that. Cowboy Bebop as his role was Dr. Londes. Is that the Big O? He was Colonel Gost. Oh no. Oh, no, that really is sad now. I mean, he was a good. Yeah, I remember him. Space Pirate Captain Harlock, he was Dr. Zero, and in Guy King, he was Prince Darius, and additional voices. There's some other ones on here in the Wikipedia page. I'm not going to go through them all. I'll just name a couple of them off here. There's Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. He was Katakuri. We got here Neo Tokyo. He was Tsutomu Sugi or Sugoka. I probably mispronounced that. He was Rico in Robotech, like I said, but he was credited as Axel Roberts. Rurouni Kenshin as Sakata and additional voices. He was Rokushi in Samurai Can't believe he was in Robots in Disguise, Transformers as Movor. But yeah, so that's animation. He was in Journey to the Heart of the World, Scarface. He was Microchip in the 1995 to 97 Spider-Man. There's some other animated stuff on here. Jin Jin and the Panda Control. He was Professor Know-A-Lot. Mickey Mouse Works. He was the Headless Horseman. In films, he was in The Smurfs and the Magic Flute, Lupin the Third. It's just a lot of them on here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. He did. He lent his voice to a lot. I'm not going to lie here. He's been Fart the movie. Let's see here. Beyond Fear. He was in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie as as the voice of Lord Zedd, of course. The Digimon movie, Metropolis. Ooh, I've actually heard that. Ham Egg. Oh, that's pretty cool. See your Deep Freeze, On the Forest, The Last Shoot. And it's constantly sad though. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of more here. But like I said, there's just like so many times that you never learn anything about a person again until they die. That's when all of a sudden you learn so much about them. It's when they die. So yeah, so this was last Saturday. He passed away. He's also credited as Axel Roberts and Marion Mensah, Mensah. Yeah, he's passed away. It's really it's sad. At the age of 70, he is gone. So as we always do here, and as we often do here on the podcast, whenever we have a voice actor or someone that passes away, we always do a moment of silence. It's just a thing I do here, provided the traffic this time will cooperate, and my laptop will cooperate as well, so there's no like little beeps, blips, or glorks or anything else. I'd like to have a moment of silence, if we may. At least, better yet, because he was such an epic voice, and one that was mostly remembered. Let's do 2 moments of silence, if we may, for a moment, for the late Robert Axelrod. May you rest in peace, Lord Zedd. Okay, so you know what the world really needs right now? Another fucking reality show. I mean, how many do we have out there right now? There's half a fucking dozen of them, just to name a few. We have The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. We have, what is it? Whack somebody in the nuts for $1,000,000. Oh wait, no, I don't even think that's a real show. There's just so many reality shows. There's what, Joe Millionaire, American Idol. How many reality shows exist anymore? And most of the time, we get them because there's a writer's strike, and then all these reality shows come out. We get Survivor, Big Brother, The Amazing Race. All these shows come out, and now flat Earth theorist people are now taking to the stand. They want a reality show where flat earthers look for the Earth's edge. Okay, so we're back to this again. Now, before somebody out there who believes in this gets on to me about this and going, "You're a rounder," yeah, here's the thing. This was disproven half a dozen times. Okay. I don't know what more they need to do for you to do this. They could stick a freaking mirror up in space and reflect it right on the Earth, and you're still gonna say it's round or it's flat. This is one of those. You're gonna have one group of people that's gonna say one thing and another group of people that's gonna say another, and there's no harmony in between. That's sadly what it is here at this point. But it's just weird. So a conspiracy theorist or any kind of theory that sits outside the aspect of normality can be pretty interesting. After all, imagining a world where things are just a little bit different can serve as a fun thought experiment. One such theory that has a ton of followers, strangely enough, is the belief that our planet is flat. Sure, we're just going to go with that. Now is actually the opening to this. So, for anybody out there that remembers this a long time ago, they thought that the Earth was flat. It was sworn upon that there is nothing to this. Christopher Columbus and some other earlier adventurers went out and searched to figure out if this was true or not, and discovered that the planet is spherical. Although people don't believe that, they call it massive crap, BS, what have you. And this knowledge has been known for well over 2,000 years. Okay, we're talking at least like 2 freaking millennia here. Yeah, 2 millennia here. Okay, but apparently, a lot of this stuff is just massively going. Um, our planet is almost unfathomably big in human terms, and the equator, the Earth's widest area, would take at least a trek of nearly 25,000 miles to go all the way around. It's like going from New York to LA and back 50 times. Although there's a comment, though, right underneath that, which I love some of these comments, by the way. My mom was right, I was going to get a kick out of these. It goes from New York to LA 50 times is about 135,000 miles, not 25,000 miles. Well, I guess they're using the Learjet. Well, I think realistically, it's not hard to see that the Earth is curvature. However, people are going, no, it's just like a lens. It's a trick. It's not what you think it is. There's some old time maps from 1893 showing this stuff. Flat earthers get made fun of a lot. I remember that there was a celebrity that was like, no, I am 100%. I am all for there's a flat earth. I'm going to prove it. And it's not so much that you're going to prove it, it's the fact that you're making such a giant stink out of this that you just can't accept the fact that, look, maybe, just maybe, there is not a flat earth. It might actually be round. It's just one of those massive things. I know I talked about this before, too, because I remember making the joke about, because one celebrity or some athlete or something wanted to create a rocket car to go up to the Earth, go up in the eye so they could turn around and take a picture of it and prove that the Earth was in fact flat. So some of the comments on here, one of them is, I've actually had the misfortune of meeting a flat earther. He told me it was the camera lens that made it look round. What do they think when they take in a round the world cruise? Don't get close to the edge. There's another one that says, be careful, or be carefully there, where is edge. By the way, what is the other side of this coin we call Earth? Those are some good questions. But yeah, there's a map here. This is just pretty cool. And this old-timey map from the 1893. Keep in mind, at this point in history, explorers and ships of European power had already been circumnavigating the planet for hundreds of years. And yeah, it makes it look flat. But it doesn't make any sense. And that's the whole thing here. Is that a lot of people are going, oh, it's flat. Earth is flat. How? Explain it past what you believe. But the fact that we now want a reality show of this, I mean, what exactly would be the premise of this show? You're going to take a boat or a plane or a rocket car, and you're going to fly around, sail around, or drive around the planet and prove that it's flat. And what happens when you take the video, because you're going to have like a video camera with you, so you take the video camera with you, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, we're getting close to the edge here. Oh, look, I'm still going in a fucking circle. It's a circle. It's a sphere, people. Oh, my God, it is. You're tracking me with the GPS. I ain't going a different direction. I ain't headed up towards Antarctica, the North Pole, or the South Pole. I ain't doing that now. It's real, folks. Oh, crap. It would just, like, blow their minds. But yeah, I mean, it's nuts. There's one person, I guess, that likes this. Prompting for the best format for this reality show. One says, give them a $500,000 budget to spend on travel and supplies and 6 months to find the edge. If they find it, they get $5 million. If they can't find it, they have to pay back the $500,000. Woo! I like the sound of that. Oh, I like the sound of that. Uh, yeah. Oh, no, you didn't find it? You gotta pay back that money. You found it? Hey, here you go. $5 million for you. Who would you ever get to host this? You'd have to find Pauly Shore. Is Pauly Shore still around? Pauly Shore could host this. Is Pauly Shore still around? Pauly Shore could host this. That would be the triumphant finale for his entire career. He could host this show. Let's see. What's it gonna called? Where on earth or where on hell is the edge of the earth? There you go. I already came up with the title for your shitty show. All right, there's your title for your shitty show already. I mean, it's idiotic at this point anymore to think, oh my God, the earth is flat. How? Just explain how. Don't just say it is. Explain how. Really. They want a reality show for this. None of it makes sense. This is basically, I want to say, people that are looking at this and going, well, we need something to believe in, and they're going with this. And I mean no disrespect to them, I really don't. But at the end of the day, really think here for a second. There's a lot of people that are saying that they would watch this. DVR is ready. There's a whole bunch of false pictures. I'm loving some of these comments that are coming up on this. They're just so freaking hilarious. Yes, just what we need, another Earth show. Just what we need, another reality show. But yeah, they're just hoping to get a reality show out of this. It makes no sense. What would happen to the water? Like the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. What would happen to that water? There's a thing called the International Dateline. How does that work in your flat Earth theory? How is it that you can take a boat from the coast of California and go to the coast of Japan? All these questions and more can be answered by not having a game show to prove if the Earth is flat. I mostly just want answers to that. I mean, you can take a boat from California and you can go to Japan. That should tell you right there that the Earth isn't flat. It's not. I don't know. It's weird to think about at this point. I think people are losing their minds over this. It's a theory that died off 2,000 years ago, but I guess people just don't want to let it die. It's beating a dead horse at this point. And in all honesty, while I understand why there are people that want to do it, at the same time, I don't see the rhyme or reason for wanting to do it. There's a point in time in which this would make sense. This is not that time. But I guess, to each their own. Somebody wants to believe in this, let them, more power to them. There are people that know that they're right. There are people that will say that they're right and that the others are wrong. You're going to have both sides of this coin bickering back and forth, and there's nothing you can do about it, because this is one of those that you just sit on the fence and watch both sides beat the crap out of each other, and then just basically stand there with a first aid kit ready to treat both of them and let them go back and duke it out a second time. That's basically all it is. But as far as a reality show for this, no. Oh, God, we don't need another one of these. I could just see it would almost be like hunting Bigfoot, and we know how well that worked out on Sci-Fi. That was a disaster. That's the last thing they need right now is another stupid reality show. That'll kill them. That'll end them. So, yeah, no, I'll pass on a reality show. No more reality shows. But this is seriously just... I have nothing more to say. I really don't. I got nothing. Okay, so question. Who out there likes KFC? I mean, that good old Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, that's right. Who likes that stuff? The 13 herbs and spices. It just dances on your tongue, doesn't it? I ate at a KFC a couple times. Once when I was younger. Many, many eons ago. Back when I was just a young little lad. Many, many, many eons ago. However, the last thing I think we need is a dating simulation game involving the founder of KFC, Colonel Sanders. And for those of you who don't know who Colonel Sanders is, you've obviously never seen Spaceballs and heard the chicken joke half a dozen times. Colonel Sanders is the founder of KFC, and now there is a dating simulator. Oh god. There is now a dating simulator that you can date Colonel Sanders. Well, you figure he's got the chicken money. So what the hell? He's probably a good catch. And we've had a whole bunch of weird dating simulators. There is the one I remember Markiplier was playing back when I was watching his channel a lot. Or he could like get different girls. You went out on dates with them, and the penultimate thing was apparently you screwed him, and he censored a lot of that. But there was one, all of a sudden at the end of the one date, which went kind of well, then all of a sudden the one character came out, and it's a cat girl. And I just will always remember this joke. And it was just the timing of the joke was hilarious to me. It's just perfectly timed. So his character apparently had won a fish from the girl. He got it as a gift from her. And the cat girl wanted to know, hey, can I have the fishy? And he's like, yeah, sure, here, have the fish. She goes, yay! And then she's basically asking him a couple questions, and he answered yes, and then all of a sudden it goes, you now have Momo. And then all of a sudden, down in the corner, and if you blinked, you missed it. But then he just zoomed in on it with his camera. It said, you've unlocked an achievement, bestiality. That was the part where I was just floored laughing for a solid 10 minutes. I was just getting way too good of a laugh out of that. For a dating simulation game to literally just dump that right on your lap at the worst possible times. Like, okay, so it's a girl that, has an affiliation and affirmation for cats. That's fine. No, you've unlocked achievement, bestiality. Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Yeah, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And I just laughing my ass off at it. It was hilarious as hell. It really, really was. It was hilarious. Like, you wouldn't believe. I'm just laughing hysterically. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. But now we have something else that's going to be making me laugh. And not in the same way, but just for strangeness that it gives you. There is now a Colonel Sanders dating simulator app. Oh god, no. It's called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator. Okay, so for once a dating sim title sums it up perfectly. So what it is, it's a dating simulator game where you get to basically lick Colonel Sanders. And that sounded more wrong saying it than it did in my head. I apologize. There is a Steam page that's live for it. It's from PsyOp developed. It's a PsyOp developed game, which gives players a chance to romance Colonel Sanders himself. The story is just stepping into the shoes of a culinary student who shares the space with a handful of interesting characters, like Professor Dog, a Welsh corgi chef. Oh, yeah, and Colonel Sanders is also in attendance. So, okay, so there's a dating simulator game that gives you the chance to, possibly get with anything else. I'm starting to see this joke coming back again to make me laugh a third fucking time. So naturally that means you need to get to know the nine main characters, participate in a cooking battle. So it's like Cooking Mama, I guess. And if all goes according to plan, date Colonel Sanders! As of right now, thank God for this. As of right now, it is dated. It is the Steam page has it as a release of coming soon. It is not actually out yet. Thank God for that. Whew. For those of you that want to see the trailer and are brave enough to see the trailer, yes, there's a trailer for this. You can gladly check out the trailer in the article. In fact, let me mute so I don't have any possible copyright infringement, so nothing gets heard. And let's view the trailer. Let me view the trailer and tell you what happens. It's 30 seconds long. That's a good size for a trailer. Is it going to load up because of my stupid download going on? Probably not. Oh, well. I love you, Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders, you got the rivals, the best friend, Professor Dog, the chicken. The Colonel Sanders is like going full, badass on that thing of chicken. This is just weird. Oh, yeah, just put it all into a bowl, put that spice right on top of it. Everybody eats it. Is this like a Food Wars? I swear, if they have a food gasm, I'm going to lose it. That's Food Wars right there. They're ripping off then. And you got Colonel Sanders just like going full badass. Like, yeah, I'm Colonel Sanders. Oh, God. I'm sorry. This is idiotic. I think this is officially the stupidest thing I've seen all year. Colonel Sanders in a dating simulator app where you get the chance to romance the man of chicken himself. You're a culinary student wanting to go out with the master. And he's just kind of like going full Food Wars on your ass. And I'm just thinking to myself, no, it's a dating simulator app that's combining food. All of a sudden I feel like looking at the waiter and going, waiter, I'm sorry, but I did not order the dating simulator in my chicken. I did not order the KFC chicken with a side of dating simulator app. I don't want to know how to get with Colonel Sanders. First off, he's dead. All right, Colonel Sanders is dead. I just started that off with it. He's rolling in his grave right now at this. I don't think he's getting a chuckle. I think he's rolling in his grave at this one. This is obviously somebody has the licensing rights and just put it out. It's like, no, we're just going to put out this Colonel Sanders dating app. Everybody's going to love it. It's going to make a shit ton of money. And we're going to use that and recoup some of our losses because, fast food industry is going downhill right now with all this healthier living and everything else. We're hurting bad. Yeah, sure. Let's have a dating simulator app with Colonel Sanders, the guy that makes chicken. It's chicken. It's not like it's chicken. Okay? That's all. It's chicken. We're going to have a dating simulator app with Colonel Sanders. It's chicken. Okay? That should just be the title of it. It's chicken. You're dating Colonel Sanders. You try to get... And there's like other characters in this. There's a rival. There's like two other chefs. You have another person. Let me go back and check this. Since the trailer's actually done. This is like a lot of stuff on here. You have like 3 other people on here. Yeah, there's 9 main characters. You have the Colonel being a badass riding a pepper shaker, busting out his magic cane and just to whoop some ass. You don't love chicken? You're gonna love chicken, god damn it. This is like so much on here. You got Colonel Sanders. There's the rivals. One kind of looks like, I hate to say this, sort of looks like a McDonald's knockoff, and one kind of looks like, I'm assuming it's supposed to be like a Burger King type of knockoff. Don't quote me on this. It's funny that it's the girl that looks like the McDonald's knockoff, which kind of pisses me off. It just kind of looks like it from the uniform that she's wearing, and the other one kind of looks like a Burger King sort of thing. And then you have your best friend and Professor Dog. It's, oh god. This is just all types of fucked up. You have a piece of chicken, and Colonel Sanders is taking what appears to be a knife and his magic stick, and just slicing and dicing it into 4 pieces just to make it look good. You get a shot of the culinary school. A rainbow shoots through. The the Welsh corgi. I better get that right. I don't need dog people on me about this. The Welsh corgi's just kind of like loving this. And then you got Colonel Sanders just cooking up a storm for you, the potential love guru. You have it all in a bowl, which looks, honestly, I would never eat that. That just looks like they just threw a whole bunch of pictures together. It's a bucket of chicken at the one point. Everybody's eating it. You get the best friend. Yeah, one that I swear looks like it's a McDonald's type of ripoff. And then there's one that's got a star. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was a hat or something. It's a star. It's a star in its hair. It's just getting weirder by the second. And they're just like freaking out over how delicious the food is. They're not having a foodgasm because they did. That'd be ripping off of Food Wars. And then you got Colonel Sanders powering himself up sort of like He-Man. Sort of like taking his cane down to the ground, busted out the muscles, and you can almost hear him go, "By the power of chicken, I am the Colonel!" It's just so fucked up. And then he just, rides this pepper shaker into the distance, cane in hand, as you see all these people just freaking out at the fact that his greatness is just too much for them to handle. It almost seems to remind me of that anime in a way. Haven't you heard I'm Sakamoto? It's just so freaking stupid. I just get a kick out of this. So you have a chance to get with Colonel Sanders in this dating simulator app, provided it comes out. Because you never know. There could be a C&D that could come out to stop this. All of a sudden, somebody could look at this and go, "Whoa, wait a minute, I do not approve of this. You are abusing Colonel Sanders, the great man that he was. I refuse to allow this to ever be seen." And thus ends the reign of "I love you, Colonel Sanders," and Colonel Sanders, you get with Colonel Sanders dating now. So end that. And speaking of edits, so ends my topic on that before I lose my mind. I can't believe Colonel Sanders dating app. Okay, so I got a nice Sword Art Online topic this week. It's actually an interesting one. So Alicization, for those of you that don't remember, kind of ended on a cliffhanger for the, I'm guessing, first half of this. It's supposed to be 52 episodes. At least that's what I had heard. And there was no way in hell we dug through 52 episodes of that. I actually stopped watching it after like episode 10 or 11. Hold on. I know it was past the infamous episode 9 and 10, which honestly, that was too dark even for my taste. And Reki Kawahara has admitted at this point that it was dark, that there will not be anything else going forward like that. Still, though, that was my jumping off the ship point, as far as I was concerned. But if you felt like you were left hanging when the first half of Sword Art Online Alicization came to an end, you don't gotta wait much longer for the continuation. The official website stated that War for the Underworld TV anime nailed down an air date for the second half's premiere, which is coming to various stations in Japan on October 12th. Fans in need of a quick catch-up will be able to dive into a compilation episode Reflection that premieres on October 5th. Once War of the Underworld kicks off on October 12th, it will run for 2 more cours. So there's still plenty more Manbu Ono directed adaptation to go. And I just read it right off of the article here. Basically, Sword Art Online Alicization ended, and how it ended was kind of weird. But here's the whole general gist of it. So let me just give you the gist of it that I got. Just keep in mind, I stopped watching it. Like, I swear it's like either 10, 11, or 12 I stopped. And I'll explain why. The first episode was an hour long, made no damn sense. Basically, it introduced us to Kirito, Alice, and Yugo in a fantasy world sort of thing where they were kids. And then we flashed to Kirito as an adult testing a video game with Asuna, his overprotective, I'm gonna be making sure you're okay girlfriend. And at some point, I guess he decided, well, I really want to go to America. I have to go over there for this game anyway. but I'd like you to come with me. And if I remember the first episode right, kind of hinted that he wants to, marry her and all that. She kind of got a little excited about it, but then unfortunately, a member from the old Laughing Coffin Guild came back to haunt them once again. Laughing Coffin, for those of you who don't remember, was the guild from the first Sword Art Online season that, after they became trapped in Aincrad, basically made it their mission in life to kill everybody. They were going to be the last ones surviving if they were the last ones in the game. So that was their goal. They spared no one. They murdered countless people, and they were honestly killed themselves. That was the whole thing of it. Because once you died in the game, you died in real life. One of their characters went into the second season, where he attempted to kill our newer character that was named Shion. He attempted to kill her because he was a friend of hers. Unfortunately, Kirito stopped him, but they came after him. I think it was that same one, in fact. Came after him again, this time in the street. Kirito attempts to fight him off and ends up getting the poison injected into him. Same poison that they were going to use to kill Shion, unfortunately, left Kirito in a comatose state. His sister / cousin, if you haven't already figured that out in the background, and Asuna become extremely worried. His mom / aunt, because again, you can easily pull up this information online, but he was adopted by his aunt. Circumstances unknown. I don't really care to know either. But basically, they became worried because they couldn't find him at the hospital, and here the government agent that he was the liaison for from time to time with certain things had taken him to a secret waterlogged facility, and we end up getting reintroduced to everyone's favorite pain in the ass, Kayaba. Kayaba's assistant, there's this nurse, and she was taking care of his body in the real world. She's the one that kind of showed up at Yuki's funeral and said that, a lot of this stuff was done by Rika Kawahara, by Kayaba himself. I almost threw the director under the bus there. She apparently is the one that they want to have come help out at this facility. She's regretting not. She's doesn't want to go. Asuna tells her, look, this is the only place we can think of where he is, because her and the other merry gang of SAO survivors have already infiltrated one thing and found him to not be there, so now they are officially freaking out. She agrees, takes Asuna, and the two of them basically go there, find out that Kirito is still in a comatose state, but he's living inside of the game that he was tested in the first episode. And this took a good, I want to say 6 episodes, 5 or 6 episodes, to get back to the what happened to Kirito point. Because inside the game world, he's stuck there in a living hell. There's taboos on everything. You can't go to a certain area. You have to do your assignment every day. You have to do this. You have to do that. There are taboos. The higher you are in society, the more privileges you're allowed to have. And the lower you are in society, basically, you're screwed. And he comes there, doesn't know anything, attempts to help out his now friend Yugo, who basically is in charge of chopping down this evil tree, and he's using a dragon bone axe to do it because the village was able to pay for it. However, they're not making enough dent onto the tree. Kirito figures out a way to finally do this by finding a sword, and a sword from the ice cavern that apparently he had been to as a kid but had little to no memory of. After going there to save the one girl, save the sister of Alice, who went there hoping that she could find her sister, because Alice was taken away. Because at the start of the series, she fell into the darkness and to the dark side, was immediately found by the system, and then was sentenced to be, they believed, killed or taken away. She was taken away. It's when we find out Yugo has some type of power, but we don't know what that power is. And all hell just broke loose. They save the little sister. They take down the tree. Then they head for the city to become swordsmen. Basically, they want to become guards and knights so that they can eventually become a integrity knight, which they believe will help them find Alice. Only they find out after episode 9's events, which I will. I guess I don't really have much choice. Episode 9 is the episode that is considered extremely dark. Viewer discretion is extremely advised with that episode. And this is the part where I could not fathom the show anymore. And I remember when the episode aired, I actually put a thing out on Twitter. I said, it's really difficult when you're pitching a show and you're telling everybody, hey, this is a really good show. You got to watch this series. It's really good. And then they pull an episode like that out of their ass. I'm just like, I was swinging the bat for you morons. Not anymore. So, what ended up happening was two characters that Kirito and Yugo were put in charge of. One was having a problem, their friend was having a problem, and they went to Yugo with the problem, and he goes, well, there isn't really much I can do because her mentor was a higher rung on the evolutionary chain of royalty than he was, so whatever they said goes, and they were abusing her multiple ways, including sexual, and unfortunately, it ended up coming to the point where the two friends of hers decided to go there instead to put an end to this, and the friend that was being abused went to Yugo and said they went there to stop them from hurting me, and now they're in trouble, and he went to try to take him down, taking that he almost tried to kill the one earlier, like a couple episodes prior. So what ended up happening was massive thing went down. Yugo couldn't attack them. He was paralyzed. And they proceeded to assault the girls right in front of him. Yes, on a bed and everything. Just flat out in front of him. And this is where it was hard to stomach the episode. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like the episode. In fact, it's one that I would rather never see again so long as I live. And I still see it every time I talk about the series, or even mention the words SAO Season 3 around me. That just flashes right back in my head like PTSD in a way. Because this was disturbing in multiple ways. So, what ends up happening is that Kirito shows up. Him and Yugo end up killing the two guys, saving their students. And unfortunately, the all-seeing head that threw Alice into the waystorm comes back, makes note that there's been a taboo violation, and then the Integrity Knights show up to take Yugo and Kirito away, and it turns out the Integrity Knight is Alice herself. Yugo starts freaking out because it's like, Alice, it's you, we finally found you, but she goes, no, I am Integrity Knight the 34th or the 33rd, and it's like, she does not have any recognition of this Alice of which she speaks. We end up finding out that after Kirito and Yugo got put in jail and escaped, they ended up coming in contact with the Integrity Knight just below Alice. I think she was like 34th or 33rd, so it means the person would have been 32nd. Like 33rd or 32nd, depending on how it was, or 31st, one of the two. But he was one below Alice, and they end up taking him on, and Yugo remembers who he is and starts telling him about his past. He says, I remember you. You were a great sword fighter. You won a lot of championships. You were really good. What happened to you? How did you become like this? And then we see this memory module thing kind of like come out of his forehead that was suppressing all of his memories. And once it popped free, he remembered who he was. But then it went back inside of him because they couldn't grab it in time. The battle ended up getting heated because then Alice shows up, and Kirito and Yugo end up going into hiding in this magical library that this one person has, and that was where I stopped watching. Because episode 9 was still sitting badly in the back of my head and on my mouth. I could not stand it. The series, as far as I was concerned, went downhill from there. And this is coming from a guy that watched the Asuna scene in Season 2. Or the second half of Season 1, I got pissed. The Shion scene in Season 2 kind of disturbed me a bit. This one was just flat out, you know where the envelope was, because you built it up that they were in danger. It wasn't a damsel in distress kind of thing with Asuna and Shion. They were both able to fend for themselves. The problem was that Asuna couldn't fend for herself in the same way she did originally because the guy was being an asshole and had her locked in the tower, which would take away a majority of your power. And he was basically using admin powers. He could basically stop her from moving anytime he felt. Then you had Shion, who had mental scars that prevented her from trying to harm people in reality because she was already being bullied and everything else. So those weren't exactly damsels in distress. This was a damsel in distress situation, and it just went on like that. It aired in Japan first, then I know Cartoon Network got their hands on it for Toonami, and Toonami actually put a massive thing out prior to this going on that this will be heavily censored. We're not even going to take a chance on this. There was some rumor they were just going to skip it, but they didn't skip it. They just heavily censored it. I thank them so much for that. But then the series went on. I did manage to find the ending. I saw the clip of the final scene. Apparently, the little base where Kirito is in reality began getting attacked in real life. And Kirito now had Alice's memory fragment, but he had no way to get out. He knew something was up. And then somebody told him, you need to go to this place because that's where the only other gateway is to get out. But you gotta hurry. We have a situation here, and they're under attack. From what we don't know, and then that was basically the cliffhanger. That was it. You can pull it up on YouTube. It's not that difficult to find. Apparently, Alice, they managed to get her to come back to her ways. Yugo managed to somehow pull the stick out of his ass and became somewhat useful. I didn't watch any more of it past, I think it was like episode 12 or 13. I just couldn't watch. I couldn't stomach it anymore. I couldn't stand it anymore. I lost interest in it after episode 9 just left a horrible taste in my mouth, and I just couldn't take it anymore. But for those of you out there that are looking forward to the continuation of this, just so that it can be put to an end, October 12th. I mean, I'm still playing the game, Sword Art Online Integral Factor, but that has nothing to do with this other than having some tie-in characters. That's it. That's its own set game, its own set universe. It's just basically an RPG with a Sword Art Online paint scheme to it. That's all I basically see it as. But the anime, I've lost taste of. The only other thing I've yet to see as far as the anime is concerned is Ordinal Scale, the movie. Once I see that, then I'm considering my realm of Sword Art Online complete. I have no interest in finding the third season. I have no interest in watching any more of the third season. I own the first and second season, and I will find Ordinal Scale. Once I do, that's it. It's done, and that's it. That'll be finished for me. But yeah, so it's coming back October 12th in Japan. October 5th, the week before, you'll get the recap. For those of you that, can't be bothered to just find somebody else's online. But yeah, so there you go. That's how it's going to be. Okay, so let's talk about GameStop, shall we? We all saw this. The writing was on the wall. Everything went to hell in a handbasket. We all knew this was coming. GameStop is closing the door on hundreds of its stores, sadly right before the holidays, in an attempt to keep itself afloat. So the world's largest video game retailer has a staggering number of stores around the world. 5,700 as of this month. And they are shutting down hundreds of them. While the massive number of retail locations might have made sense in a previous decade, it's become a liability for the game retail giant as consumers increasingly buy digital games. The writing was on the wall for them, I think, when they had the entire new versus used controversy. Their retro game controversies screwed them over. Horrible news that came out. Their 3-point plan for improvement, and we're going to change the Power Up Rewards card system. All that screwed them to the wall, I want to say. So, among many other reasons GameStop is beginning to shut down some of its many retail locations, They're quoted as saying they are on track to close between 180 and 200 underperforming stores. At that point, you'd be closing 5,700 underperforming stores globally at the end of the fiscal year. GameStop CFO Jim Ryan said on the company's second quarter earnings call Tuesday. So, the company's dead in the water. It's just too dumb to fall over at this point. Everybody's buying digital games. You have Steam, you have the PlayStation Store, Xbox's store, Nintendo's shop. People are buying games digitally. It's cheaper, it's easier, they can download them, they don't have to worry about having, like, if there's a day one patch with it, it's instantly patched when they download it. All that shit happens. This is basically them having the writing on the wall as this is what we need to do, and this is just the first wave. I foresee this coming back to haunt them. They tried getting too big too fast. Because I still love that joke. It was a meme that I saw years ago. It was Kermit the Frog in a car, and he's looking out, and the meme was, when you see your GameStop getting robbed, and then remember that they gave you $3 for 20 games. Bye! Yeah, because they mark up the used games a shit ton more so that they can get more money from the used games than the newer ones. Because then there was like a huge thing. And that's what I thought was weird. Because if you have a game that just came out, what they would do is it had a high trade-in policy because it was a brand new game. So what they did was they gave you X amount for it if you traded it in. And then what they did was they jacked up the price on the used copy. So people would want to buy a new copy, but they would say, oh, we don't have any new copies in stock. All we have are the used copies. So you'd be forced to spend more. People found out about this and basically, went to town on them for it. So they're opportunistic, whereas the next wave of closures will come from a deeper look at each store and its region. They're applying a more definitive analytic approach, including profit levels and sales transferability. They expect to yield a much larger tranche of closures over the coming 12 to 24 months. It's unclear how many of the stores, though, are going to be closed in the long run, but it's clear that GameStop executives are taking a more deliberate approach to the next wave of stores the company closes. Basically, they're saying it's a cost-cutting measure, cost-saving measure. They've already had two waves of layoffs. They've laid off executives, managers, Game Informer staff, basically been given the heave-ho. GameStop is trying this initiative of this GameStop Reboot program. Involves addressing issues with the so-called SG&A, a financial term that stands for Selling, General, and Administrative Expenses. In simple terms, it means lowering the cost of salaries, taxes, advertising, and other non-production costs. Unfortunately, it also means layoffs and store closures. And for those of you that work at GameStop, it means that you're going to be putting your resume back out there, hoping and praying that you can get a job at Walmart. Because there ain't no Kmarts no more either. But what I find more annoying about this is that you have people that are freaking out. Because, GameStop's closing. What am I going to do now? Buy it on Amazon. Buy it on eBay. Buy it, from the e-store. There's 1,000 things you can do over, I'm going to buy it at GameStop. Because that's the problem that we have. Because everybody wanted to buy it at GameStop. Everybody's buying it at GameStop. And then when GameStop had it, they were huge. But now you can get stuff a lot cheaper online. You can find it easier online. You can get it. If you still have to get it shipped to you from GameStop and you're buying it on their website, yeah, you're just as well buying it from Amazon or eBay. If GameStop honestly wants to keep themselves afloat, what they're trying too hard to do is make themselves into like a Hot Topic or a Forever 21 in a way, and having like little tchotchkes and not as many games. They want to do like t-shirts that are video game and stuff related. They want to have like bobbleheads, plushies, stuff like that. Shit that they've been already selling some of in their store, they're trying to sell more of. I remember years ago they tried jumping on the mobile bandwagon with having smartphones and tablets, and that bombed out hugely on them. You have the Nintendo Switch stuff. I think I'm going to give my two thoughts here on this, if I may. And I know a lot of people, the minute you instantly have this, oh my God, there's a store closing or the business is going down under, you instantly have people that are always like, well, I know what can be done. I'm not saying that I know what can be done. I'm just giving a few ideas of what could possibly help them at this point keep their ass above water. One would be basically, because I don't even know how valid this would even be because I've heard the stories of how their team operate, but they could offer a GameStop repair service for busted game consoles and everything else. I've been watching a channel on YouTube called Tronics Fix. The guy has basically repaired half a dozen Nintendo Switches with nothing more than a screwdriver, some soldering wick, some liquid solder, and video chips. And he has been repairing Nintendo Switches. So you could just open up a repair system. Like, oh, look, drop off your system to us. We'll repair it for a price. Make it good as new. You need an upgraded RAM or hard drive for your PlayStation 4 or Xbox? We'll do it for you. No problem. Offer a service like that. Make yourself into like a sort of like well, for me it would have been Microplay, but they're not around either anymore, I don't think. No, I don't think they are, because I think the last one that was around me closed, which is sad. That was a fun store. I went there a lot. They at least gave you decent credit for the games. Which brings me to number 2. Reevaluate your used system figurization for it. Like what you charge for a used game and what you're going to give them trade-in value-wise. Push them towards, oh look, you can get a bunch of these smaller games that cost less and like get, you know, like buy X amount of these and you can get one game in this price range for X amount off. So like let's say that somebody would buy let's say that somebody would trade in let's say throw a good game here. I'll throw Borderlands 3. Let's say somebody bought Borderlands 3. Trades it in. And let's say a hypothetical scenario, they got $150. Okay? You have them go and it's like, well, look around the store, figure out what you want. Because I remember when I was trading stuff into GameStop, I made a comment one time. I said, can you just put it on my card so that I can have it? Because I don't want to just come back up here if I don't find anything. No, you're going to find something. No, I may not find anything. Because I usually look at something, and then I would go home, and I would try to do some research on it to see if it was worth my spending the money on. They didn't like that. They wanted you to spend the credit right then and there. It's like, look, the credit's mine. Regardless if I use it today or a week from now, you still got my business. Morons, I could even buy it on your damn site if I wanted to. At least the way I understood your system. So either way, you're gonna get money from me, assholes. What did you care? No, you had to use it. But what they should do is, like I said, if like person A would trade in, like I'm using Borderlands 3 as an example, they get hypothetically $150. I know you're not gonna get that, but it's a hypothetical scenario. Or no, I'll make it a little more realistic, $70. Now, you take that $70 credit you have. Now, you entice them with an offer. If you buy X amount of games in this price category, like let's say $5.99 and under, then you can get this game in this price tier for 50%, like for like 25 to 50% off. Then the next tier and the next tier and the next tier would be similar styled. So like let's say if you bought 6 games at $20 a pop, and you buy 6 games that are $20, before tax, like $19.99 or up, like between $19.99 and $24.99. You buy 6 games in that category price range. Then you can get this game for this much, because you're gonna burn through the credit that you had, and then you're going to invest some more of your own money. So GameStop would get their own money. They would get more money back. They would get more business, more stuff would go through their store, more people would get more things, and you could even have like an accessory type deal too, where like, oh look, you buy this many accessories for your system in this price range, and you get like a free memory stick or something, or a free headset or something like that, because you bought like $70 worth of accessories, you're going to get something for free because you've made a massive purchase. That they'll take a bath on like a $5 headset, because like, oh look, they bought $70 worth of stuff, so we take a $5 bath, we're still up $65 regardless if it's store credit or not. They're still up some money, because in the end, the games that person traded in, or stuff that they traded in, will be then sold to somebody else, and the system continues. Granted, in a stupid way, but you could put that like, look, if you buy X amount of games of this, you get this game for X amount off, or a game in this category. So like I said, you buy like 5 games for $5.99 a piece, you can get a game in the $10.99 category at 50% off. So you're basically getting 6 games for the price of, you're basically getting 6 games, but the thing is that you're tricking the people then to think, oh, I'm getting a deal here, whereas you're still paying the same amount, but you're just basically showing it to them in a newer way. And that's the whole thing. That's what supermarkets do with ads. I can tell you that all the time. The flyer for the local grocery store I go to, they always have like this ad of, you buy 4 of these, or 4 for this much. And it's like, and if I buy them individually, I'm getting them for a cheaper price than what you're asking for them now. It would make no sense. But that's the thing, is that you're going to get the people that aren't going to pay attention. They're going to see, oh, look, I can get this many games for this much money, and boom. And then that system would work in a way, because then they would make a crap ton of cash on it. But then again, that also brings up the next problem. You got rid of the Power Up Rewards Pro system. You changed that up. That is going to be one massive hurdle that's going to come back to haunt you. I said that when I talked about it. I'm going to say it again, because that entire system benefited you. Yeah, I can see tweaking it a bit, but the way you tweaked it isn't helping. You get $5 a month. Doesn't roll over. So, woo! You get $5 a month. No. You're just literally paying them to come into the store then. That's not worth it. If they don't want to buy anything, it's not worth their time and effort to come into the store. Like, well, I got $5 this month from Gamestop. I wonder what I can put that towards. Oh, well, that new game's $60. I still have to come up with $55, but I got gas, groceries, electric, car, and other stuff. Yeah, no, I can't afford that. They can keep their $5. And I think that's what they were banking on, was a lot of people were just going to say, oh, no, screw it. It's not worth my time and effort. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not just going to up and go here and go, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, no, forget it. It's not worth it. It's not worth my time. Screw it. And that's what happens. But now you have the closing 180 to 200 stores. It's just basically the writing's on the wall. You know the time is done. It's over, basically. The dream is dead. GameStop is dead. It's just too dumb to fall over at this point. It knows it's dead. It knows its history. It knows it's worm food. It's just too damn stupid to just roll over and die. It just wants to sit there and try one last time to just go, look, I'm still valid. I'm still viable. Don't give up on me yet, but it's too late. You're done. Your history, your worm food. It just doesn't want to accept that, but we have to accept it. It's done. I'm just mostly happy for the fact that I called it. They're done. Their history, they're finished. So many people were saying it, and now it's officially true. When you start shutting down stores, underperforming or not, because once you get rid of the underperforming stores, then you're going to have to start cutting the next level. And then you're going to be looking at what stores fall into the category of underperforming at that level. And then you're going to look at this again, and it's going to be like, oh, remember that store that just barely made the cutoff the last time? It's in the cutoff on this one. It didn't make it. Oh, well. All right, that store's done. Okay, well, we'll end that store next. And that's what'll happen. It's not a when. It's not a how or why. It's a when. It's not an if. It's a when. Because the hanging sword is basically now over all the stores. Basically, you just don't know when it's gonna fall and finish them off. But yeah, I mean, if the GameStop around where I live, there's like 3 of them. If the one closes, which is near the Dollar Tree that I like to go to, that would actually be nice because then they could put something else in there. I don't know what they could put in there though. They could put like a restaurant in there. Nah, that wouldn't work too well. Oh, I could open up. Ooh, hey, if that would ever actually close up and I'd be able to find the money for it, I could put it in my Otaku store. Nah, probably nah. That'd be another dream I would just kill. But no, but yeah. So basically, GameStop's done. It's history. It doesn't have a prayer to hold on to. I mean, you fired like 50 managers and higher up executives. You got rid of almost all your Game Informer staff. You laid off a whole shit ton more people. And now you're closing stores. This isn't the point when you should be looking at this like, we're going to save this. This is basically a, well, we're letting off as much fuel as we can before the plane just careens right into that mountainside. We want to go, but we want to make sure that we don't take everything on that mountainside with us. They're basically cutting ties now so that everybody gets a chance to just be free and get away while they still have a chance. And that's honestly what it is. It sucks, but it's honestly, it's what it is. It blows, but it's true. Alrighty, everybody, that's going to pretty much do it then this week for the Absolutely Completely Random podcast. It's been a blast. It's been fun. I'm tired. I've had a miserable week. I want to try to get some sleep. It's like 10 o'clock for me, so yeah, I can probably actually get some sleep, maybe, hopefully. Probably not. Who am I kidding? But anyway, thank you all for joining me this week. If you have any topics that you'd like me to talk about here on the podcast, feel free to drop them off at on the Web Designer. Sorry, let me try that again. You can drop them off on the Web Designer 18 Facebook page, on my Twitter page at Otaku Roads, or here on my YouTube channel in the discussion section, or on a possible comment section. Just put down your podcast topic in parentheses. Let's see here. Oh yeah, don't forget to have your Q&A questions in. I'm still shooting for when the calendar pops up here. Either next Saturday or the following Saturday. So I will let everybody know via both Facebook, Twitter, and here on my YouTube channel when the Q&A deadline is. I have not decided which yet. I'm probably thinking next Saturday, but I'm not sure because that gives me like time. I can record it then that Tuesday, and I can have it up then later on. So I'm not trying to record it right off the bat. I don't know which yet. So yeah, I'll let you all know. But anyway, that's pretty much going to do it this week for the podcast. Thank you all for hanging out with me. And until next time, I'm Andrew, and this has been the podcast. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will catch you later. Bye, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.